from Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Live hurricane coverage starts right now.
7:12 p.m. and we have a new tornado warning for parts of Mobile County in southwest Alabama. This is yet another outer rain band of Hurricane Ida that has prompted a tornado warning for parts of central and southern Mobile County on this Sunday evening. Good Sunday evening to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Very heavy rain happening in parts of our area right now, but the concern is in Mobile County at this point, where we have an active tornado warning that has just been triggered by the National Weather Service in Mobile. Let's zoom in and tell you exactly who's involved in this. The good news is this tornado warning does not include areas near the Mobile Metro. And so if you're at the Mobile Metro, you are A-OK right now. This possible tornado is right now very near Theodore, very near the Interstate 10 corridor, just to the southwest of Tillman's Corner, and it's lifting off to the northwest towards Big Creek Lake and Wilmer, involved in this tornado warning. This also includes a part of George County, Mississippi, and areas just to the southeast of Loosedale. So again, your possible tornado is down here in southern Mobile County, moving off to the northwest at about 40 miles per hour. Very heavy rain continues across much of Mobile County, but this is a small tornado warning polygon that has just been issued for parts of, again, Mobile County. Let's show you the whole county first and tell you who's in and who's out in terms of this warning. And Mobile County, of course, is a large county in southwest Alabama. This does not include Dauphin Island. Also, the city of Mobile, areas near Crichton, Pritchard, Saraland, Chickasaw, also areas near Creola, Chinchula, Gulf Crest, Mount Vernon, also areas near Citronelle are not included in the warning, but for areas near Theodore, also areas near Tillman's Corner, you've also got Seven Hills right here, Dees is here, Tanner Williams, Big Creek Lake is right in through here. This does include the Mobile Regional Airport and points just to the west of there, out on Airport Boulevard, going out towards Baker High School. And so, again, the call to action is now Mobile County, where we have an active tornado warning valid until 7:45 local time. Let's zoom out on the radar. For those of you that missed our earlier round of tornado warning coverage, what happened, the radar in Mobile, there's a site, a NextRad radar site there at the airport in Mobile, and that serves as our local radar for South Alabama and Northwest Florida. That radar is now down, and so what's happened here, we're using radar data from the National Weather Service in New Orleans to cover the western part of our area. In the eastern part of our area, we're using the Eglin Air Force Base radar to cover that side of the area. But again, tracking this possible tornado in south central Mobile County, currently moving to the northwest at about 35 or 40 miles per hour. And again, if you are watching and you are in Tanner Williams or areas near Big Creek Lake, you are involved in this possible tornado situation where we have a tornado warning that's in place for the next 30 minutes due to this possible tornado lifting away from I-10. Tell you what, I would imagine it's going to be fairly difficult to see on the velocity, but we'll try to check it out here and see if we can find exactly where the Weather Service is warning this storm for. And again, just to set the scene, here's Mobile County right here. This is George County, which is included in the tornado warning. You've also got areas here in Jackson County, currently not under a warning, but with the shape of this polygon, I wouldn't be shocked to see Hurley, Mississippi go under a tornado warning in the next few minutes. So again, putting you on notice, you're not under a tornado warning at this moment, but if you are in Hurley, Mississippi, you probably are about to get a tornado warning due to this storm that will be lifting out of Mobile County. So the possible tornado is going to be right in through here, but like we've been talking about, these cells are so low topped that you cannot see anything, even on the velocity view with the data coming from NWS New Orleans. And so again, tracking this possible tornado in south central Mobile County, joined alongside executive producer Bruce Thompson this evening. And this is going to be a situation where we have repetitive warnings, most likely, overnight and into Monday. We are nowhere close to being done with this event, unfortunately. And what we're going to do, we'll get this round of tornado warning coverage done and then we will do a new update a little later detailing exactly what you can expect in the overnight hours. Let's go back to LD1 because, again, this is not going to be a situation that comes to a close very quickly, unfortunately. So, again, Mobile County, the only part of our local area involved in this tornado warning. However, I should mention as well, we do have a new tornado watch. In other words, there's a potential for tornadoes in the overnight hours. The counties you see here shaded in yellow are now involved in a tornado watch valid until 6 a.m. tomorrow. And so the watch that just expired at 7 o'clock 17 minutes ago, it has now been extended for all the local counties that were previously included, in addition to several more counties. You've got Clark, Monroe, Conecuh involved in this new tornado watch, in addition to the counties that were previously under the tornado watch: Washington, Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia in Alabama, and then Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, and Escambia in Northwest Florida, involved in that new tornado watch, valid until 6 a.m. local time. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if we needed another tornado watch in the morning around 6 a.m. That is a possibility, and so don't think it's going to end at 6 a.m. Unfortunately, it probably won't. This is going to be a very long duration event, and there will be more warnings most likely. But again, we're here to talk about the one warning that we have on the board as of 7:19 p.m. for parts of Mobile County. We'll turn on the radar. And again, this is a deal where we're tracking this on reflectivity just because it is so incredibly difficult to see anything from the New Orleans radar on the velocity view. Possible tornadoes going to be on the back flank of this low-topped supercellular storm that's currently bringing torrential downpours of rain to this neighborhood, Seven Hills, in the western part of Mobile. This tornado warning does include the Mobile Regional Airport. And so if you're at the airport or near the airport, you need to be taking shelter right now. The campus of the University of South Alabama is not included in this warning. So if you're at South Alabama, you are A-OK right now. The warning is to your west. This does include Tanner Williams, and then under this cell, you've also got Big Creek Lake, which is the big water area back in through here in central Mobile County. And if you'll be watching those comments to see if we have any reports of damage, that certainly would be appreciated. Again, tracking a possible tornado in Mobile County at this point. And let's have a look. Take me back over to the iPad, please, sir, and we'll look on velocity. I tell you, it's going to be near impossible to see anything at this range, because if I measure this out, we're tracking this tornado warning 8,000 feet in the sky. Normally at this level, the radar is actually right there, and we would have a picture-perfect view of this possible tornado. But because we don't, what the Weather Service has opted to do is go with the course of least regret and issue a tornado warning for central Mobile County, extending into eastern George County, just to the south of Loosedale. So again, nothing on velocity. There's just nothing there. You do see some areas of rotation down here in the Gulf of Mexico that we'll have to watch. Let's go over to the Eglin radar real quick here and see. Again, there's an area of rotation. That will be one that we need to watch as it comes into areas near Fort Morgan and southern Baldwin County, and really southern Mobile County as well, over the next hour. So again, this is not going away. We're going to be here pretty much all night long, I'm afraid. And again, we'll keep you posted as absolute best we can with these live videos and, of course, ongoing continuous coverage in the Red Zone weather app. Let's go back over to LB1, and we will zoom out and show you what Ida is doing right now. This hurricane is slowing down, and this was in the forecast for the storm to slow down fairly considerably once it reached the part of Louisiana in through here near New Orleans and near Baton Rouge. It's not going to stall out. This is not going to be a storm that just sits and spins for days like what happened with Hurricane Sally. There will be movement along the way here, but it's just going to be a slower pace than what we dealt with earlier, with the thing rapidly moving across the Gulf at about 15 miles an hour. And now that it's made landfall there at Grand Isle, it's now slowing down. And what's happening here, there is a bit of a difference in terms of the movement. It's moving more north compared to what it was earlier, moving more to the northwest earlier this afternoon. And so with that said, naturally around this circle, Ida is traveling around a circle, an area of high pressure. you're going to get that slower movement in this part of that circle. In other words, where it's at one of those 90-degree angles, it's naturally going to slow down for a bit. And then once it gets up into Mississippi, say early this week on Tuesday, it will start increasing in speed away from the area. But we've got to get through this part first. And with a situation like this, we've looked at this in the past with one of these other recent landfalling hurricanes. We've had so many over the last 12 months, I can't remember which one. But again, we are on this right front quadrant. If I break this thing into 4 quadrants, our area here is on the northeastern quadrant of this hurricane, and that's where typically you have the most impacts from landfalling hurricanes. And so this is not going to be a situation that gets much better. We're still going to have tornado warnings throughout the night, most likely, until that center of the storm gets fully north of our area. And even then, we'll be on the southeastern quadrant of the storm. We still could have heavy rain, flash flooding issues, but I think by the time that center gets way up here, there's a good chance that the tornado risk will start to diminish. It's not going to go to zero very quickly, all right? Even tomorrow, it's not going to diminish completely. That's just not in the cards, unfortunately. But we are looking at a situation where the tornado threat will gradually subside, and I think by this time tomorrow night, we should begin to be in much better shape. So that's a little bit with what's happening with Hurricane Ida. Let me actually read you the latest statement from the Hurricane Center as well as we continue to track Ida, that is now a Category 3 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds are now at 120 miles per hour, and that's going to be in this inner eye wall right in through here. In fact, you see areas just to the southwest of New Orleans. We posted a video about an hour ago from this town right in through here. Believe it or not, this is where LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron is from, right in through here. And from his hometown, they took a beating in terms of the eye wall passing right over that specific town. But again, we are here to talk about this possible tornado that is in Mobile County. Let's zoom in here. And again, the possible tornado is basically at areas near Big Creek Lake, right in through here, also near Tanner Williams and also Seven Hills. And I can tell you this, most likely if there is a tornado down, it is well to the north of I-10 at this point. And so with that said, we can give you a tornado all clear for now at Irvington, Theodore, Tillman's Corner, and Dees. If you live in those 4 communities, Tillman's Corner, Theodore, Irvington, and Dees, will give you a tornado all clear. Now, I realize that polygon still includes you, but there is no tornado danger down here. The tornado is up here, closer to Seven Hills, I should say, and Tanner Williams, coming into areas near Big Creek Lake, and Wilmer is included in that tornado warning polygon. So we need you to be sheltered right now if you are at Wilmer, there near the Mississippi state line. We also should mention no travel at this point on US Highway 90, extending from Loosedale all the way back down to, let's just say, Mobile, just to be safe. If you know someone on a Sunday evening that would be driving from Loosedale to Mobile or vice versa on Highway 90, please let them know that there is an imminent tornado threat in these areas. And it'll be interesting to see if the Weather Service in New Orleans issues a tornado warning very shortly for Jackson County, Mississippi, because this thing is lifting just like that. There's a real chance that we will get an early cancellation of this warning very soon, as it may be moving out of our area into really the northeastern tip of Jackson County, Mississippi, out towards Hurley, but most likely even to the north of there, coming into George County. This could easily move into areas near Loosedale. And so I'm putting you on notice, if this holds its strength, we may get a new tornado warning for Loosedale, Mississippi. Now, if you know someone that may be at Tanner Williams or Seven Hills or areas near Big Creek Lake in that specific part of Mobile County, please tag them in the comments below. Call them, text them, do what you need to do. Let them know that there's an active tornado warning happening right now in central Mobile County. Tell you what, let's go back to the iPad, Bruce, if we can, please, sir, and we will put this in motion. We'll look at this from Eglin just to see if, the Eglin radar, I should say, and see if there's anything there. I don't see a signature on the latest scan, but you can see actually some broad rotation right there. Watch that right there. That's going to be your area of rotation. And this is coming out just like that, going to ultimately cross into George County. So even on the Eglin Air Force Base radar, and that's a good, almost 200 miles over to the east, this is an area of circulation that's prompted a tornado warning. Let's go back over to the New Orleans radar here, and we'll see, yeah, you just can't really see anything there. There's your area of circulation, but it's really, really tough to see under these circumstances. We'll check and see if our Mobile radar is back up. It is not, unfortunately, and so we'll go back to the Eglin radar and show you the local view of what we're experiencing right now, because in addition to your tornado warning in Mobile County, you've also got heavy rain happening near Pensacola, also at Perdido Key, Alberta, Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, areas near Foley, some heavier showers also happening near Gonzales and Beulah in Escambia County, Florida. These are lifting off to the northwest. Let's zoom in and see if we see any lightning with that tornado-warned storm, which is often a telltale sign of a mesocyclone developing, and I do not see any there. Now, I'm not saying there's none there, but I do not see any lightning with that storm either, and so take that for what it's worth. We'll see what the Weather Service decides to do momentarily with this storm. Let's see also if we can go back over to our satellite view. Let me cue that up, Bruce, so we can show the folks exactly what is happening with Hurricane Ida, because some good news to pass along. Let's go back over to LB1. Hurricane Ida is finally beginning to weaken, and maybe drastically weaken. That would be the hope at this point. We'll have to see over the next few hours whether that is indeed a trend, but I can tell you that that eye wall is really collapsing at this point. You see the eye. In fact, let's zoom in on this, still a powerful hurricane, no doubt about it, in eastern Louisiana, but look at that. You see that very, very notable eye, and then it just sort of collapses. And so what that tells me is that the inner core of this hurricane is finally starting to degrade over the bayous of eastern Louisiana here. And don't get me wrong, the weather is still horrible. I mean, it's absolutely terrible in New Orleans, back down to Houma, Venice, also areas near Grand Isle. Weather taking a turn for the worst up here on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, areas near Slidell, back up to Macomb, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, also areas they're coming into Jackson, Louisiana, involved in the core zone that's going to be under the gun from Ida. So again, we'll keep watching this infrared satellite shot. Ida, a historic storm today. This was one of the strong, in fact, I think it was the strongest storm, tied with Laura from last year, and a storm from back in the 1850s, tied with those two storms to be the strongest storm ever to make landfall in the state of Louisiana. Laura last year was just as powerful, but the difference is Laura made landfall over here near Cameron and Lake Charles. So again, Ida was much farther east, and it's moving just like that. Let's go back over to our tornado warning in Mobile County, and we'll zoom in tightly on this because this is a cell that is about to go into Mississippi, but we still have the tornado warning in progress for areas near Tanner Williams and Wilmer and Big Creek Lake. And so if you are at Wilmer or Tanner Williams or Big Creek Lake right here, just to the south of the US Highway 90 corridor, coming into areas just to the south of Loosedale, those are the areas under the gun from this possible tornado. We'll give you an all clear if you're at the Mobile Airport. All right, Mobile Airport and areas near Baker High School, you can come out of that tornado hiding place. This tornado warning, or this possible tornado, I should say, unlike the storms that we had earlier today, is actually moving at a fairly substantial clip, about 40 miles per hour. If you remember, those other tornado warnings earlier sort of cycled over the same areas for about 30 minutes. This one has not done that, and this is very, very soon going to be into Mississippi. And I would imagine what's going to happen here is that the Weather Service will trim this polygon to exclude Mobile County and keep to include George County over here in Mississippi. So we'll see if that happens over the next few moments. Again, waiting on an update from the Weather Service. Let's actually check our NWS chat feed. And I actually see a message that I missed from right before the warning was issued. They said based on the reflectivity structure, which is what you see here, from the New Orleans radar, and also weak rotation, even visible from EVX, which is the Eglin Air Force Base radar. They decided to go ahead and issue the tornado warning. And based on the data that I'm seeing, of course, I think that was the correct call in a situation like this. There's just no way to know exactly if a tornado's down when you don't have good radar coverage right over the thing. And unfortunately, again, our Mobile radar is now down. We don't know for how long. Hopefully it will be back up later tonight, but we don't know if that will happen. So again, having to track this storm from the New Orleans radar based over in Slidell, and this is going to be in Mississippi very shortly. Bruce, have you seen any reports of damage? All right, some good news to pass along. As of 7:32 p.m., the tornado warning is canceled. So no more tornado warning for any part of Mobile County at this point. The storm has weakened and the Weather Service has canceled the warning. So let's talk about what you can expect over the next few hours. I also just got a disturbing news message. Let me read this quickly and see. We'll let the news organizations handle that. I tell you, goodness. Y'all remember, we had a situation in Pensacola in the Bay with, I can't remember the company name, it starts with an S. I'm sure folks watching remember because it was a big deal and it closed that bridge. But it looks like we're having another situation with these barges coming loose in Louisiana during Hurricane Ida. And so I don't know what that's about, but we'll let the news folks deal with that. We're here to talk weather. And again, the good news is, as of 7:33 p.m., we have no active tornado warning for any part of southwest Alabama or northwest Florida. In fact, let's zoom out and see and make sure. I don't think we have a tornado warning for any part of America at this point. No, we don't. So no tornado warnings for any part of the USA at this point, but we do have a landfalling hurricane. I say landfalling, it's already made landfall. And the inner eye wall of this thing is now right over New Orleans and really coming into areas near Baton Rouge in Louisiana. We'll zoom in tightly. And again, possible tornadoes will be possible in this part of the storm along and east of the center of circulation. You see those polygons popping up and fading away right in through there. Those are tornado warning polygons. So in addition to the tornadoes that we're having here in our local area and possible tornadoes, they're also having tornado issues in addition to the horrible storm surge, the extreme winds up around 120 miles per hour even still, and also the very heavy rain over and through here. Already 12 inches of rain, I'm sure, in some of these areas over in Louisiana. But again, the center of Ida continues to degrade on radar, and that's a good thing. It's still a powerful hurricane, and it's going to be a powerful hurricane. I wouldn't be shocked if this thing is a hurricane when we wake up, all right? And that's, 12 hours from now in some cases. So again, could be a hurricane on into Mississippi before it weakens to a tropical storm. But this thing is going to continue to throw tornado warnings at us in the overnight hours left and right. Let's see if I can pull up our convective outlook, because this really tells the tale of what we're going to see in the overnight hours. There it is. And again, along and east of that center of circulation, really all the way over to Destin, could have tornadoes. And so what that means is you have got to have a way to get those warnings before you go to sleep. I need you to have a NOAA weather radio or something that will wake you up in case your specific county goes under a tornado warning. And speaking of that, let's look at our map, because we do have ongoing counties involved in the tornado watch that's valid until 6 a.m. local time. So if I call your county out, you're involved in the tornado watch. Mobile, Baldwin, Washington, Clark, Monroe, Conecuh, Escambia in Alabama, and then in northwest Florida, you've got Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa. In our local area, Covington and Butler counties are the only two counties not involved in the tornado watch. That's a good thing. That's where you want to be, and that's very much in line with the impacts guidance that we've been advertising over the last several days. We said that this part of Alabama, basically from Greenville and Andalusia, points back to the east, probably wouldn't have much in the way of impacts. And so far, so good. That is what has happened. All of the impacts have been to the west of there, and we continue to think That is what is going to happen in the overnight hours. Bruton, Chatham, Thomasville, Jackson, Monroeville, Evergreen, Mobile, Fairhope, Daphne, Pensacola, Destin, Century, Milton, Pace, all points in between. We all have a tornado watch, meaning you've got to have a way to get those warnings in the overnight hours. It is now 7:37 p.m. We'll continue to track Hurricane Ida over the next few hours. Let's make sure quickly that we do not have any imminent tornado risk. In fact, we'll do this along together. Bruce, if you'll take me to the iPad. I do not see anything on radar that would suggest an imminent tornado threat in really south central Alabama, northwest Florida. The concern is going to be over here on the western side of our local area. And we'll put this in motion so we can see if we can get a better vantage point. I really can't, even from that angle. But again, this is the zone locally where we could have tornadoes over the next few hours. So we're going to keep watching the radar very carefully. Let's go back over to LB1 to conclude. More tornado warnings possible in the hours ahead. I hope you have a wonderful evening. We will see you soon.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.